So Climate Action Strathaven has been running the retrofit campaign for a few months now and has been raising awareness across Strathaven. And the first house has been completed. Well, the first phase of the first house has been completed. And the house owners are with us on the show today, so welcome to the show.
Okay.
Thank you.
So when was your house built?
50s?
Yeah. I think it was probably more mid-60s.
Mm-hmm.
I think so, yeah.
So it was a kind of traditional build. Is it a?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Andrew Park's house, one of these.
Okay.
He built a lot at the same time.
He did. He was prolific for well-built houses in Strathaven. So your house was a fairly standard traditional build.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
And how was it in terms of for heating and costs and efficiency and so forth?
It has been pretty expensive to heat, to be honest. It's a 1.5 story room and roof kind
So
of
that's like
house.
dormers in the roof.
Yes.
Yeah, all the
Flat
upper
roof
floors
stuff.
have got sloping ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that in itself is a problem, but it just never seemed to heat up as much as you would want it to, and no matter how much heating you put into it, it was always a bit cold, and of course very expensive to run as well.
Yeah, and over the last 2 or 3 years, the energy costs have just literally gone through the roof.
Yes.
And so that would have had an impact on your house and your costs.
Absolutely,
you can see why structurally. I mean, it's got a very generous hall, lower hall, and higher hall, which takes the heat. But down below it can be quite the bottom half of the house. And because this is the first phase, we haven't actually. It's been more the retrofit on the top of the house. So we've had a significant improvement, but there's still plenty to do.
So how did you hear about retrofit?
I was just fascinated by the whole Climate Action Strathaven thing. So I've been following them on Facebook all the time, right from the start. And, following all the things I've done in the 3C bus and everything like that. I was really quite excited about the idea of retrofit, and we came down to a meeting, I think.
Yes, you've been in
quite a few meetings, just to find out what it was all about, and then getting into conversation. And they invited people who wanted to have thermal imaging, which we kind of said, oh yes, please. So they came and did that. And from then it just kind of snowballed into, well, what we're going to do about this, because we could see that from the images we were getting with lots of cold spots upstairs. We had drafts everywhere, and I could see why everything was sort of cold. So we chatted with Tom about that, and who did the thermal imaging. And yeah, so having expressed an interest, we just kind of followed on from what they were doing. We came along to the meetings, and I mean, we discussed it at length, really, didn't we, for quite a wee while, because it's almost a year since we actually had the thermal imaging done. But of course, they weren't quite ready to do anything at that point, and we knew that, and that was fine. So, I mean, we were quite keen. Well, we were both quite keen to do it, but we're dragging you along.
No, I mean, your wisdom is indisputable. Our heating bills are significant, also because of the crisis over the last
even worse.
That's right. I mean, I could outline those for you a little further. Is that relevant?
Yeah.
It seems to have crept up now to about £6,000 a year, which is 500 a month.
That's a significant amount to be put.
Oh yeah,
yes.
And to not be warm after all of that, it was.
Well, that's the kind of two factors. You want your house to be warm. You also want it to be efficient, and you want your costs to be as low as they can be.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when you went through the thermal imaging, when did you decide to go ahead?
Only just a few weeks. I finally decided to go ahead just a few weeks before we actually did it. So that was just like in October, I think.
Yes.
Wasn't it? When they were ready to go, they said, we're ready to go. Are you ready to go? And we went, yeah, okay, let's go with it. So up until that point, I mean, they were saying you can pull out any time. They were great about that, but I was never really wanting to pull out, to be honest. I just thought, no, this is good. I'm good. I want this, So yeah.
So, but what was your expectations of the project? I mean, did you have it all explained to you what the work involved and what it
Yes.
entailed, and
Yes.
that there would be some degree of disruption in the house?
Yes, we were told about that. We came down to, there was a meeting where they had built this thing, you know,
Yes.
Yeah.
I was looking at it.
modern house.
It's a model of a roof.
Yes, that's right. And you know, and what they were going to do, how they were going to do it, how they were going to improve on what we had. I mean, we had a little bit of insulation that didn't really seem to have any effect, you know, and it wasn't anything like as much as you would recommend now, you know. So we wanted to get that improved. We definitely wanted to make sure that we started off with that. I mean, there are a lot of things you can do regarding retrofit, including things like heat pumps and that, but what we agreed with Climate Action Strathaven that it was far better to get the insulation right first. There's no point in getting a different kind of heating and then it's all going up through the roof again. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of key, really.
It makes sense.
It seems to make logical sense.
Because it doesn't matter how efficient or how good your heating system is. If it's just literally going through the roof, then
I've given it a name. This model, I call it the tea cozy problem.
Yeah.
If you're old enough, you know what a tea cozy is. I don't know. Yeah, it's keeping the heat that is there, providing that warmth, and it has made a significant difference, particularly to the upper floor in their house. So the bedrooms are appreciably warmer just walking into them.
So once you decided to go ahead with the retrofit project, it was only a matter of weeks from that decision to actually happening. So
Yeah.
what preparations did you have to do in the house?
Well, we knew we were going to have to empty the eaves cupboards. We've got 2 of them in every room, really. Three bedrooms upstairs. I think there are 5 areas that you can get into there. So we had to get stuff out of there for them. We thought we would be doing it one at a time, but because the materials took longer to come than they thought, the guys were ready to start. They all came up all right with button ready to go, but they didn't have the stuff. So they decided they were going to do the preparation right across the upper floor instead of just doing it room by room. So that meant we had to empty everything out. But you know, it was all planned early on. I mean, during the week before they started, we had the guys coming up and having a look at it, looking in all the cupboards, seeing what they have to do, reminding us what they needed to do. In one bedroom, our main bedroom, they were having, because we have flat roofs as well, they were having to cut holes and things, and you know, to get the material in behind that. So yeah, we did know, but nothing happened that we weren't expecting, if you see what I mean.
So the communication throughout the project was
great,
good.
yes, absolutely first class.
And there was the quality of the people who were doing the work. You know, they were
yes, very much so. And you know, our we're not exactly DIYers at all, are we? So we were, oh yeah, no, but yeah, there were things that they were finding and they were telling us about them so that we could get that sorted. Like there was a junction box up in the loft that was an absolute mess, and they recommended that we get it fixed. So yes, and they organised us getting an electrician in to fix it, and you know, it was really quite reassuring, you know, that they were doing it. I mean, I had total confidence in them as they were working on it. I mean, you know, it was really a good experience, I think, you know, wasn't it?
Even on little important things like protecting the floors.
Oh yes.
Not standing in the bath in boots, you know, putting paper and towel.
Yeah, they were very careful about covering the floors. That kind of stuff. There's this kind of a sticky plastic stuff that goes on the carpets, you know, which is really good. And you know, so that was something that was, you know, we really appreciated them doing that, you know. And because, you know, when you cut holes in the walls and that, you are going to create dust, and they did, but every night they tidied it all up, and it was really very, very good actually.
So how long, I mean, taking into account that there was a disruption to the supplies, how long did the project take?
About a week and a half.
Yes, about 10 days at tops.
We actually thought it would be longer than that. We were kind of prepared for it to be longer than
And
that.
that
Then
was
what done?
included covering a couple of problems that had been foreseen.
Yeah.
Like the junction box, which had been left by previous workers.
And then a bit of damp that they found that they were able to help fix for us.
So they were identifying other issues as they went
Yes, they
through
were.
and helping resolve these. So
That's right.
these were
yes.
things that you would need to find out.
Yeah.
They took away a tank and that was no longer needed for the hot water system. The previous people had just left it. So
tidied up the loft for us. Really.
Yeah.
So they were great.
I'll need to get them in to do mine.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
So the project was completed, what, about a fortnight ago?
Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah.
And how have you found the house since then?
Oh, it was definitely. I mean, even within a few days of them starting, we noticed it.
Yeah.
That it was warmer upstairs, particularly upstairs, which is of course where they were working anyway. And we're now, you know, I mean, I was used to like going into our bedroom and feeling cold. We would get a bit of heat coming from downstairs because we've got a big radiator in the hall, and as Frank said, the downstairs heat goes up to the top. So you go up to the hall, and I used to notice that the upper hall was warmer than any of the bedrooms when you went in, because you know they were just staying cold. They kept the doors shut. So it's actually really nice. You go in and you find that it's warm all the way over everywhere in that.
So in terms of, I mean, you had two objectives. One was energy cost reduction, and the second was an improved heat within the house. So you've already noticed the heat's improved upstairs.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. It has.
And you'll not have got to the point yet of being able to see any impact on the energy costs.
On the energy costs, not really. I don't know.
Not really. I suppose with hindsight, we maybe could have measured it better and you know, almost kept a record over the that might be worth thinking about for other houses too. I mean, in general terms, we knew the temperature, but we hadn't been as rigorous, perhaps. Whereas to get data that said, you know,
that would have
but
been
you will get that as you know, as bills come in and you see the
get
impact
that in terms of the money. Yes, you would. Right. But it probably take a wee while before we really know whether that's made a big difference there.
It's very noticeable upstairs. There's still plenty of drafts cooling in the house, but then we know
that's downstairs though mostly.
That's right. There are two other quite significant tasks that we could take on and get help with: underfloor heating
and cavity wall insulation. We're still to work on that. But
we're in the corner, so again we get quite a strong wind, straight in winter hits as well.
So the next steps are to look at the options for underfloor insulation and cavity wall insulation.
That's right.
So like most people's houses, there are particular areas you'd rather not pull up. Like it's all fairly recently wooden flooring right through the house. And we know one of the areas they were talking about robots, things that could be a possibility, you know, to do that.
Yeah, but that's the next steps, and the first phase is done, and you're happy with the first phase, and
very much.
You're happy with what Climate Action Strathaven did, do?
Sure, and we're hoping to sort of pick their brains as well about these next things. You know that we're obviously going to.
Well, they're here for the long haul. I mean, and for various reasons, including saving the planet, to be cliche, you know, wanted something done about this, and we understood the idea of keeping what you have in as hot, you know, and to just get individual like a heat pump or something that's not really addressing the thing that we need to change. And I think the retrofit comes much closer to doing that.
So you're quite happy with the work Climate Action Strathaven did and the results?
Absolutely. We had an EPC done about 5 years ago because we were considering doing this then. And we dropped the idea partly because we weren't really very sure about companies that, you know, we didn't know which were the best companies. We didn't really know anything about it. And it got a wee bit confusing. And it was one of those things that we just shelved for another time. And this has helped because I know, you know, we are really quite confident that what they're doing is not just good for us, but good for everyone. You know.
And you've gone from your thermal imaging done last year through to the project completed now.
That's right.
And it's just on to the next phases.
Yes, definitely is.
Yes, and it's been pretty seamless as far as we can tell. We found a few hiccups that we didn't know were there. They were dealt with, and we got the feeling that the team would not bypass anything or ever take a shot.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time.
Okay, thanks very much, Les.